Kevin, to pose the question to you, just how impressive has Joe Burrow been to you in his first postseason run, resulting in a Super Bowl appearance?
I mean, I've been saying it for a long time, and I know I sound like a broken record, but to me, Joe Burrow just has that persona. He has that aura, that energy, however it is you want to go about describing it. Something about Joe Burrow screams confidence, swagger, just something about him. You just have faith in him. You know, he's poised on the sideline, doesn't really show much emotion. Always kept together in the huddle. You know, you never really see him get frustrated or angry and despite having probably one of the weaker or inconsistent offensive lines in the NFL, you never see him get frustrated at his line or his teammates. You never see him pointing hands or pointing the blame at anybody else. You know, it's always get up, move on, go to the next play, and that's something that you don't necessarily see. With somebody in that stage in their career. Now we get it. Joe Burrow is one of the older second-year players at being 25 because Patrick Mahomes is only 26 and he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years already. So um, Joe just seems mature, man. Joe just seems like he's ready for the moment. He doesn't shy away from it. He likes the crunch time. He likes being from behind. He likes coming back and being clutch. So I'm not necessarily surprised whatsoever. I mean, obviously, I made the prediction that the Rams and the Bengals would be in the Super Bowl, but of course, rocking and pushing for the Rams to make it through the gauntlet that they had to go through. Vegas being one of the easier matchups out of the three that they had thus far, but still a hot and surging Vegas team going into a postseason could have been, detrimental for the Bengals. So for them to overcome Derek Carr and the Raiders, for him then to go into Tennessee, get sacked 9 times, face the number one seed, Derrick Henry comes back, and he seals the game and drives them down the field for McPherson to hit that game-winning field goal, to then go into probably one of the hardest places to play in the NFL in Arrowhead, and then catch a W there. Just goes to show he's relentless, he's fearless, and Joe Burrow is catapulting himself quickly into one of the better younger quarterbacks. And I know that this is going to be premature, but Joe Burrow might become, that third wing alongside Mahomes and Allen, because at this point, Josh Allen hasn't been able to beat him. Josh Allen also hasn't been able to reach this plateau in his career yet either. So I really do have so much faith in Joe Burrow, and I could not be happier for the Bengals in general.
Kevin, I got to give you credit. You've been riding heavy with the Bengals the last couple of weeks, and you've been saying that this team has all the pieces and the confidence to make a Super Bowl run. And I can't believe that they were actually able to go on the road and beat that high powered offense that the Kansas City Chiefs have and actually beat them on the road. I didn't expect it, but I got to give a tip to the cap to you on that one, my guy. Now, when it comes to Joe Burrow has really shown me what Kevin's really been outlining the last couple of weeks. There's a definite swagger that Joe Burrow possesses that I underestimated. Just because when I looked at some of these performances that he's had in the playoffs so far, there's really been nothing that screams to me that this dude is all world. Like this guy is playing above and beyond the competition that he's going against and just lighting up the defenses that he's going up against. He's hasn't done that, but he's been good enough to put the Bengals in positions to win by limiting the amount of mistakes he is going to go out there on the field and do. Now, he's still making a couple mistakes. Had that one interception in the second half against the Chiefs. I believe that was in the fourth quarter. Almost had another one in the fourth quarter as well on back-to-back possessions. But it doesn't really matter. Despite the mistakes that he's made throughout this postseason run, this guy in Joe Burrow can lead the Bengals to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. I mean, this is the first time that the Bengals have been in a Super Bowl since the freaking 80s. It's been over 3 decades since we've seen Cincinnati in this type of position before. And really, Joe Burrow, the guy is just cool, man. It's like you said, he has a swagger. He has a really nice confidence that he not only brings on just his skill set alone, but that swagger, it rubs off on his teammates. It rubs off on the entire team as a whole. It's propelled Cincinnati to this point to where they are. I mean, in overtime, after that Cincinnati defense gets a turnover from Patrick Mahomes, I mean, KC's defense could have stepped up to make some plays against Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow was able to make some plays happen in overtime, get that team in position to get McPherson out there for the game-winning field goal, and he did it. And this is kind of one of the things that I think for me, I have to take account for moving forward. Just because that somebody like Joe Burrow in this postseason run isn't necessarily like lighting it up in every performance that he has in the playoffs, he's still doing enough to make that team in a situation where they can go out and win a game. And I have to start giving some respect to just guys that just go out there and give their team the best chance to win. And really, the way that I see it, Burrow has done that despite some of the mistakes that he's made, which there have been a couple, but he's been able to overcome them and really overcome significant odds to get to this point. To beat a guy like Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead, I don't think a lot of people necessarily were ready to make that jump that Joe could do that. But Joe proved it. And I got to give a lot of credit for Joe for being able to do that. Only Tom Brady was able to do that by beating Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. Well, now Joe Burrow's the second. When you're in the same company as Tom Brady in that regard, I got to give you respect, my guy. And the way that I see it, Joe can definitely set them up for a Super Bowl title. I don't think that that's that far of a statement anymore. This win against KC proves that.